By the time the Alpha King realized his daughter was gone, the storm had already erased her tracks. The north gate stood open. The guard station key was missing. And somewhere beyond the walls of Scarhalt, beyond the snow-covered road disappearing into darkness, a 5-year-old wolf cub was walking alone through a blizzard. For one terrible second, Finn Lindmark couldn't breathe. He had faced assassins. He had survived wars. He had buried soldiers. None of it felt like this. Because armies followed rules. Storms didn't. And neither did his daughter. The realization hit him all at once. Santa hadn't run away. She had gone after someone.
There was only one person she would risk a storm to find.
Camila. The woman he had sent away 4 days earlier. The woman he loved enough to sacrifice his own happiness for. The woman he had lied to. As wolves and guards rushed through the courtyard, Finn stared into the white chaos beyond the gate and felt a sick certainty settle into his chest. His daughter wasn't lost. She was proving a point, and he already knew exactly what that point was. 4 days earlier, Finn had convinced himself he was making the correct decision. That was the dangerous thing about being king. Most disasters didn't arrive looking like mistakes. They arrived looking reasonable. He was a man who had moved armies, who had repositioned supply lines during a famine, evacuated villages during border wars, made the kind of decisions that kept thousands of people alive. Decisions that cost him something every single time, and that he made anyway, because that was what kings did.
The intelligence report had landed on his desk just before dawn. The Vos coalition wasn't targeting military officials. They weren't attacking supply routes. They were hunting people, specific people, people close to the crown. One name appeared repeatedly: Camila Okafor. His spymaster gave him 3 options: increase her security, relocate her within the stronghold, or remove her from the target zone entirely, 90 miles north, to a settlement beyond the coalition's reach. He hated the third option immediately. He chose it anyway. Because Camila wasn't a number in his calculation. She was the person who would quietly become the center of his life. And that was exactly why he couldn't think clearly about the risk to her. She had arrived 11 months earlier as a record keeper. Within weeks, she had become indispensable. Not because she impressed people, because she corrected them. Fearlessly. Accurately. Without caring whether powerful people liked her.
In her second week, Camila solved a problem the council had failed to solve for 6 months. She walked into the room, studied the records for less than 10 minutes, identified the mistake, explained the damage it had caused, and handed them the solution. Just like that. Finn remembered watching the silence that followed. Not the uncomfortable silence of confusion. The dangerous silence that happened when everyone in a room realized one person was smarter than the rest of them. He had been in trouble from that moment forward. His daughter noticed before either of them admitted it. "You're softer when you come back from Camila," Santa had announced one evening at 5 years old. "I am the same," Finn had said. "Your face is," she insisted. "It changes."
She was always right about faces. He wrote the letter 3 times, burned the honest version, burned the strategic version, sent the one that said, "Trust me," without earning the trust, that said, "Go," without giving the reason. The morning Camila left, Santa watched from the window. At breakfast, she said, "Where is she?" gone north for a while. You sent her away, Santa said. Not a question. A reading, as precise as anything Camila had ever produced from a column of figures. She didn't argue. She didn't cry. That worried him more than either would have. The storm arrived on the fourth night. By sunset, snow covered the roads. By midnight, visibility had collapsed. And by 1 a.m, a guard burst into Finn's chambers with words that landed harder than any battlefield wound. Santa is missing. Minutes later, he stood at the open north gate. She had taken the key from the guard station. His 5-year-old daughter had planned this, had gone to bed early, waited for the page turn, executed every step with the quiet, deliberate patience of a child who had decided the world was wrong and that she was the person available to fix it. She wasn't wandering. She had a destination. Finn shifted immediately. Massive black wolf, snow lashing against his fur as he pushed north into the storm. The world became white noise and frozen wind. 1 mile. Nothing. 2 miles. Nothing. 3 miles. There. A small silver shape curled against a rock formation. Tiny. Still. He shifted back and dropped to his knees beside her. Her eyes opened. Papa? Relief hit him so hard it almost hurt. She was alive, conscious, shivering with the deep systemic shiver of a body that had been working very hard to stay warm and was approaching the limits of that work. He curled around her in wolf form, the full body enclosure of a father protecting his cub, the way he had held her when she was an infant and shifted for the first time in her crib. Her shivering slowed, her breathing steadied. And in the storm, holding his daughter, he thought about the decision, the letter, the sending, the specific chain of consequences that began with, "I cannot tell her why," and ended here, at mile 3, in a blizzard. The house feels different without her. He held her tighter. Colder, she said. He closed his eyes. She had walked 3 miles into a winter storm to fix something he had broken. Not with strategy, not with calculation, with the 5-year-old logic of someone who had not yet learned to manage instability the way adults did. Children did not manage instability. They fixed it. And sitting in that storm, Finn understood something 6 years of governance had never taught him. He had been protecting the wrong thing. He had protected Camila from the coalition. He had not protected what Camila's presence maintained. The warmth in his face, the fixed point his daughter oriented toward, the center that held the whole system together. He had removed the center, and the smallest, most vulnerable member of the system had walked into a blizzard to restore it. They reached the northern settlement after sunrise. Camila was already outside, pacing, watching the road. She had felt the storm, known with the specific intuition she could never explain logically that something was wrong at the stronghold. The moment she saw them, she ran. Finn handed Santa over without a word. Santa reached for Camila, and everything she had been holding together since dawn broke loose. The composure, the stoic quiet of a child who knew she had done something enormous and was managing the aftermath. All of it gone. "I came to get you. He sent you away and it was wrong. I came to get you." Camila looked at Finn over the child's head. He told her everything. The coalition, the intelligence report, the assassination threat. The reason he had convinced himself sending her away was the right choice. The reason he had placed her safety above her right to choose for herself. And the reason that decision had nearly cost him far more than he had been trying to protect. She listened. She processed. Then she said the thing that was true. You should have told me. You would have stayed. Yes, because the risk was mine to assess. You took that from me, decided what dangers I was allowed to face, what choices I was allowed to make, and then expected trust to fill the space where honesty should have been. He had no defense, only regret. You're right. Your daughter knew before you did. My daughter, he said, knows most things before I do. It is a recurring pattern.
They stayed in the settlement 3 days while the secondary storm ran its course. They returned to Scarhalt together, not separately. On horseback, Santa in front of Finn, Camila beside them, the north gate opening to receive them back.
At breakfast, Santa sat between them. She ate in her specific order. Then she looked at Finn. You're softer again. Your face is. She pointed directly at Camila. It's because of her. I know, Camila said. Don't go away again. I won't. Santa returned to her breakfast, satisfied. The matter was settled. The system was restored. The simplest things, it turned out, were always the ones worth walking through storms for.